let's wear these for this one. Alright, put the gloves on, boys. The gloves that I don't really like. But maybe the heat will bend them up a little bit. Alright, back it on out. Alright, let's rock and roll, son. Alright, so this is going to be an actual run here. I've done all my testing. I've spent like probably 4 hours today, maybe closer to 5. Trying to get my mic set up. And finally, I had to just ditch every single mic that I tried. And I'm using a modified Apple iPod, well, you know, the Apple earbuds with the built-in mic, because Apple was ingenious enough to put a low-pass filter built into their mic. So it cuts out all the noise that creates all the cracking and popping. What creates that, if you guys are trying to figure out what's wrong with your mics, wind noise is bass, essentially. And what happens is, if you're using a GoPro 5, 6, 5 session, anything like that, anything 5 and newer, the GoPro will automatically boost the mic, and there's no way you can control it. You can't turn it off or anything like that. So it's just going to boost it the whole time. And what happens is, it boosts for the ambient noise, because in between you talking, that is what's loudest. So it'll pick that up and boost it. And then when you go to speak, you're louder than that because your voice is closer to the mic, and it makes the mic peak. Well, if it doesn't have a low pass filter, it's going to pick up all the wind, because wind is bass. So if you manage to have a set, or maybe you can buy them, you know, the authentic ones. Don't get the cheap ones. Get the authentic Apple wired, not wireless, but the wired earbuds. And then cut the earbuds off and make sure to use the mic. But I will say this, make sure that the plus and minus is not mashed down when you go to install the mic in your helmet. Like if it's not pressed, or yeah, make sure it's not pressed against like your cheek pad or something, because that'll disable the microphone temporarily while you push the button. And if it's pressed against your cheek pad, it's pushed all the time, so it's disabled all the time. So the way you fix that is, you know, position it carefully. Now me, I didn't put any kind of windsock screen, fur, anything like that on it. I mean, what you hear right now is the raw, naked microphone just tucked behind my cheek pad. Now, I did a test earlier. Everything sounded good. And then I did another test right before I put the helmet on, and it sounded good. So, I'm assuming it's working on this video too. Also, make sure on the, if you're, I can't speak for all of them, but if you're using the Hero 5 Session, make sure when you go to put the camera set up to record and everything, when you put it in your helmet and all that stuff, make sure you turn it on with the menu button in the back, and make sure that it says mic okay before you start recording. Otherwise, if you do it too quick and it doesn't pop up mic okay before you hit record, it won't engage the microphone, so you won't have microphone on at all. So yeah, make sure it says mic okay. The best way to do it, since you can't see it once you mount it on your camera, you can't see the little display screen, I use my phone and I open it up, and once you can see a preview of what your camera sees, the microphone's engaged. And I just remembered there's probably a bug on my damn camera lens. Hang on. Hopefully that got it. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, what I was saying is, you know, once you can see the preview, then the microphone's engaged and all that stuff, then just hit record on your phone and stick it in your pocket. That's what I do. I find that works the best, because if I try to do it the other way, I end up recording without any vocal track, so no audio at all. So yeah, just be careful of that. Alright, man, this is my first scooter vlog. My name's Mirror Mask. I should have introduced myself at the beginning, but that's just how it is. I've been riding for, I don't know, man, ever since I was little. I started out on dirt bikes, go-karts and dirt bikes. And then I moved on up. I got my first bike. I got the Fever. I got the Fever for the two-wheel flavor. So I got a Suzuki GN125. That was my very first bike. I bought it from this guy that did like the motorcycle safety force training stuff. He was a teacher for it, or a trainer, whatever you want to call him. And yeah, I bought it from him. I bought it for like 500 bucks. Ran great, loved it, man. I cruised all over the place with that. It was a good bike to learn on because it was really light. And honestly, man, I mean, riding a scooter is cool, but you know, you don't shift gears unless you have like an older Vespa or a genuine Stella. I had a genuine Stella. I'll mention that later. But that has a clutch and shifter right here on the handle. You like pull the clutch in and you actually rotate the whole damn handle. But anyway, so after I learned the ropes on the GN125, I got a, what was my name? Oh, I got a Yamaha Zuma. I got a Zuma, so I went from a bike to a scooter. Love the scooter, man. I love the fact that, you know, it's just twist and go. Then after the Zuma, I moved on to, hang on, I hate these damn bumps right here, man. They're a lot bigger than they look. I just wanted to get over them real quick. There we go. All right, but after the Zuma, I moved on to a Yamaha V-Star 650, big old cruiser bike. Had it all done up with chrome and everything, and I was like, yeah, I was wearing my leathers and all that stuff. That was the first time I ever really wore gear. Before that, I was a total squid. And rode that for, I don't know, probably a year. And then I decided, like, man, I had a buddy who had a what do you have, a V-Star 1100 or something like that, and he moved off, so I didn't really have my riding partner anymore. So I was like, man, I know a couple of people, buddies of mine, that have sport bikes, and I don't really want to ride with them on a cruiser. That was my mentality back then. So I was like, I want a sport bike. So the only thing I could afford at the time was a KZ 750, and let me tell you, man, holy shit, them narrow ass tires and that old school horsepower, holy crap, dude, that bike scared the shit out of me. That's the first two-wheeled vehicle I ever had a speed wobble on. It's just because those narrow ass tires. So yeah, I got rid of that. I sold that. I said, nope, I'm gonna die on this thing. Because, man, look, if it'll do 180, I'll fucking do 180. That's just me, man. And when you got that much power, dude, I mean, you sneeze and you're over 100 miles an hour. It's ridiculous. So I sold that, and I still had my, at that time, I still had my V-Star 650. And I don't know why I keep thinking I sold my V-Star. I didn't sell my V-Star. I traded it in after I sold the KZ. Maybe that's why I get it confused. I sold the KZ 750, and then I traded my V-Star 650 in, just title for title. I went to a dealership up in Marietta, Florida. Marietta, Georgia. And there was a dealer there who told me, he's like, yeah, man, I will trade you a brand new Ninja 250. This was the older model, you know, 2007. It still had the old body style from the 80s. But man, I love that bike. But he straight up traded me, dude, even. So I rolled in with that and rolled out with the Ninja 250. And man, I loved that bike. That shit was, it was fast enough. It was fast enough that it was fun, but it was light and small and nimble enough to where you could just sling that thing around in twisties and stuff. Because by then, man, I was all about some damn twisties. I love that shit. So Yeah, so after I got rid of the 250, or what am I talking about? After I got the 250, I rode that shit for about a year and a half, and then I was ready for something bigger. I mean, I could keep up with all my buddies, because, you know, around here, man, they will drop a ticket on you in a heartbeat, so you just can't go flying around. We don't have freeways and interstates and all that stuff here. You get busted really easy. It's really quiet here in the deep south, so people can hear you accelerating from 2, 3, 4 roads over, and the damn law will just show up. So I got rid of that, the 250, and I bought a CBR 600. I put a Yoshimura pipe on it and everything, and that shit was just badass. The crazy thing is, when I bought it, it came stretched and lowered, and I rode it like that for a couple of months, but I realized real quick, man, that when you stretch and lower a bike, that like the handling is it's just not there, man. It feels very lethargic. Like it's hard to really, you really have to lean into stuff and really manhandle it to turn it when it's stretched like that and lowered. So I unstretched and lowered it and put the original stuff on it, and man, I love that thing. But then there was a guy who was at the airport where I work, and he really wanted to buy that bike from me, and he offered me like, I think it was close to 3,200 bucks for it or something. And so I was like, man, hell yeah, because there was something else that I had my eye on at the time. And so I sold him that, and then I bought a brand new genuine Stella, no miles on it. And that was the first scooter that I ever rode that had, you know, the shifting in the clutch and the shift in the handle. It was designed after the old school Vespas. It was 2-stroke, it had a crap load of power. And man, I rode that thing back and forth to work at the airport, like I think it was about 35 miles every damn day for like a year, dude. I loved that scooter. The only thing I hated about it was that it was a 2-stroke, and I had to always, in the little glove box area, I always had to carry a bottle of 2-stroke oil so that I could pour it in the oil reservoir, because that scooter, awesomely enough, had a separate thing for the oil, so you didn't have to mix the gas yourself. It mixed it itself. So yeah, that was just a pain in the ass, man, because it's like every 200 miles or so, it's like I was having to buy another thing of oil. And where I live, like, it's like 35 minutes away to the closest place where you could buy, like, you know, 2-stroke oil that's made for motorcycle engines and stuff. Like, you don't want to just stick weed eater 2-stroke oil in there or nothing like that. Because this isn't oil that's meant to be mixed like that. It's meant to go in a reservoir and be electronically controlled. So anyway, I got rid of that scooter, and I traded it to this guy. I wanted a scooter because by then, like, I fell in love with scooters, man. I love scooters. I'm on a Vespa now. I'll tell you something about this in a little bit. But anyway, so I traded this guy. He gave me 1,300 bucks in cash. No. Well, I keep saying 13. No, 1,500 in cash. And I don't know where I keep getting the number 13 from. Anyway, 1,500 in cash and a Honda Elite 80, which was a 4-stroke. But that thing looked like a vacuum cleaner, dude. I still have that scooter. I still have it. Like, it doesn't run because it's set up for a while, and I'll tell you that in a second why. Anyway, so I got that, and I rode that back and forth to work. By then, I had a different job, so I wasn't riding as far. And anyway, I got to where I was ready to, like, let me check my camera, make sure the lens is clean. So anyway, I was ready to start moving around, and I wanted a car. So I parked the Honda Elite, and I didn't ride it anymore, and it sat there. And, you know, by then I was like moving to South Korea. I lived in Cheonan. I lived in Busan. I lived in Toronto, Canada, Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia. I kind of moved around. So I needed a vehicle, something I could just throw all my crap in and move. So yeah, I let it sit for years. And then I started getting the itch again when me and my buddy Todd, we got this pretty big role in this movie, and we started acting in it. And then we realized, like, dude, man, let's, you know, we're single, we're not married, you know, no kids, nothing like that, nothing tying us down. Like, bro, let's do the LA thing, man. Let's just go to LA. Let's get some scooters and go to LA. At first we were gonna get motorcycles, but then we watched a bunch of scooter vlogs and motorcycle vlogs from LA, and I decided, man, with that traffic, I would much rather just not have to shift. I mean, that's just me. stop and go traffic on a motorcycle for me personally sucks. And Todd pretty much agreed. He used to have an R6. He pretty much agreed, man. Like out on the country roads, motorcycle, shift the gears, all this shit's awesome as hell, dude. It's fun and I miss it. I miss not being able to shift on this right now. But I mean, dude, in stop and go traffic, it sucks. So I was like, we're getting scooters. So then I was looking at the brand new Kymco, what is it? Kymco Like 150, the new model. Because it had like a cool Bluetooth digital dash. It would show messages and stuff from your phone and all this. Except it doesn't come out until 2019 with that dash. So I was like, dang, man. I still wanted the 2018 when it had a, you know, just an analog dash. So anyway, while looking for that, I was looking on Craigslist and all this stuff, and looking at dealerships and stuff, and then I saw the Kymco Spade, which is a you know, it's their take on the 125, 135, 150 cc, you know, the small displacement engine thing, like the Grom, the Z125, the Benelli TNT 135, the Rascal by SSR, all those bikes. And Kymco comes out with the Spade, and it's a 150cc 5-speed, and you know, top speed 70 miles an hour, gas efficiency, you know, maybe 70, 75, something like that. And I wanted that, but then I was like, oh man, I want to shift gears. So I decided I'd settle on a scooter. And Todd kind of was the same way. We talked about it. He was like, yeah, I think I want to get a scooter too. So we decided a scooter. So anyway, I'm just browsing around Craigslist, just seeing what's on there. You know, I've already got my mindset. I'm gonna go to the bank, get a loan, go get the Kymco. Well, I come across this ad for this 2017 mint condition Vespa Primavera 150 with the new iJet engine, and the guy only wanted $1,500 for it, and it only had 73 miles on it. That's it, dude. 73 miles, not a dent, ding, scratch, nothing on it. The paint's not faded, nothing is wrong. Look, I've only got 153 miles on it right now, and most of them miles are from me. I took it from 73 to 153 just from doing microphone tests and crap. But anyway, so I was like, well, I'm gonna email this guy. There's no way, you know, because Craigslist is full of like crappy, stupid fake ads. So I was like, there's no way this is real. No way. So anyway, I get it. I'm just gonna keep riding. I'm not going home yet, because I'm wrapped up in telling this story. So anyway, I get this thing, or I get his email address on Craigslist, and I email him and all this stuff. And I'm going back and forth with him, and I'm like, the first thing I said, like, can you go take more pictures of it? Because, you know, everyone knows those fake ads have 1 or 2 photos, and they're not ever able to go take more photos for you. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna ride around town. And so I asked him, you know, can you go take more photos? And he was like, yeah, sure. And then that day he came back with like 15, 16 more photos from every angle. I was like, okay, damn, this shit's legit. But like the scooter's real, but is the deal real? So anyway, get to talking to the guy, talked to him on the phone. I was real respectful, real nice to him. I mean, he's a really cool guy. He's retired military. Let me clean my camera again. He's retired military, and he got a scooter, but then ended up having to have surgery on his back. I don't know if it's a, you know, insurance thing or something. I don't know. It was probably an insurance thing, because he had like a 2018 car. He had like this Vespa, and he had a Piaggio BV 300. I think it's 300. Anyway, he had like basically, you know, $16,000, $17,000 worth of scooters, brand new, sitting in his driveway in a brand new car. So I was like, dang, man, all right, maybe this guy got some insurance money or something. And he got this scooter and realized, like, oh crap, it doesn't work with my back. So that's what he told me. I mean, he's like, you know, I got it. He's like, but then it just, it wasn't good on my back. So, you know, I got this Piaggio BV, and this one is great. So this one only had 73 miles on it. And he listed it in like literally an hour and a half to 2 hours is what he said. After he listed it, he got an email from me. Like, I just happened to be browsing at that time. I was the first one to email him. I told him, I said, I want that scooter. I said, if it's really there, I want it. I'll talk to the bank tomorrow. And because this was at night. And he was like, okay, so we talked and, you know, back and forth emails for a couple hours, and then he gave me his phone number. I called him and everything. And he said later that when I went to pick it up, he said, you know, a lot of people emailed him, but I was so nice to him and just very respectful to him that, you know, I was the only one he gave his number to. And that didn't make sense at first until I met him in person. And then it made sense. I mean, he was just this, I don't want to sound bad because he's a really cool guy, but here's his personality. I'm just saying this just to describe it. You know, if you ever watch this video, man, I really appreciate the deal, and you're a really cool guy, but I'm just describing you. He's really nerdy, and I could tell, like, he probably doesn't have a lot of friends. Like, you know, like, people have probably taken advantage of him and treated him like shit all his life and all this stuff, and then you have this guy, this really respectful guy that comes along and, you know, yes sir, I appreciate it, yada yada, you know, just super respectful. I wasn't short with him or nothing like that. That's just me. That's just how I am. I'm just a cool, laid-back person like that. And anyway, I think he was just so impressed that I treated him so respectful that he chose me to buy the scooter. So, man, thank you. If you ever watch this video, that's awesome. Man, this light ain't gonna damn change. I'm gonna cut. So, anyway, so I ended up getting this thing. And honest to God, dude, I went to the bank, I got the loan and all that stuff, and it's crazy because my loan altogether, including all the fees and everything, and I took an extra $1,000 out for gear and all this stuff because I knew I was going to motovlog, and I'd already kind of got rid of all my gear and stuff. I still had a helmet, but I needed gloves and a jacket and all that stuff. And yeah, altogether is still less than what I could sell the scooter for. I could sell this thing for $4,500 easy. And but I'd always wanted a Vespa. That's the thing, man. I had always wanted a Vespa. And I gotta see myself in the window. Hell yeah. I'd always wanted a Vespa, but it was way too expensive. Vespas are like the Mercedes of scooters, dude. Like, you just can't, you know, if you're on a budget and crap, you just don't go out and buy a Vespa. You know what I mean? The same way you don't just go out and buy a Harley. You know, you get like a used one, or a kind of, not a China, don't ever get Chinese, but you get like a Taiwan or a Thailand or a Japanese bike or something like that. You don't get a freaking Harley. It's just expensive. Unless you get a Sportster, maybe you could swing that. But anyway, so I wound up with this, and I love it. I loved it the moment I saw it. I like the color of it. I hate the seat. The seat's like, can you see it? It's like a cream color leather color, which is dumb. It looks really feminine. I'm getting a gray seat for it. I looked the price up. Seats are like 150 bucks. So I'm gonna get a seat for it. Swap the seat out for a gray one. That shit looks sharp. I saw a video on Scooter West with a robot in San Diego. If you're ever into Vespas and you need parts and stuff, go to scooterwest.com or look up Scooter West on YouTube and watch some of their videos. Robot there, amazing dude. I'm gonna order a seat from them, a gray one that fits this bike, and it's gonna be awesome because then it's gonna just look sharp as shit. Baby blue and gray. It's not really baby blue, it's more like a sky blue. Well, I don't know. I guess to the naked eye, if you didn't really know what sky blue looked like, you'd probably swear it was baby blue. But anyway, whatever. I like it. But yeah, dude, so it's freaking awesome, man. It runs great. I need to get the oil change though. I do need to get the oil change because even though it's only got 73 miles on it, you know, the engine's still breaking in. And I'm doing hard break-ins on it. I'm just cruising around max throttle everywhere. But it's not really the mileage why you need to change it. It's because this thing is a 2017, so it's like it was manufactured in 03 of 2017, and it was bought in like August of 2017. And so it's, with only 73 miles, you know, it's been sitting, and you know, over the year it can gain moisture and stuff. And you know, that gets in your oil filter, it gets in your oil and all that stuff, and it may, you know, it may not hurt it to get a little moisture in there. I don't know, but I don't know. I've always just, anytime I've let a bike sit, you know, for a year or something, I've always heard that it can get moisture in there and that you need to go ahead and just get an oil change. But I've only had this thing for like a week. I didn't really get to ride it much because it poured rain. It sucked, dude. The day I brought it home, it rained for like a week straight. I was like, dang. Meanwhile, I was waiting on all my crap to get delivered, which sucked because I should have ordered overnight, but I didn't. And so I still don't have my jacket. That's why I'm squidding it up with no jacket on right now. My gloves came in, my helmet came in. I got a built Techno 2.0. Not the quietest helmet, but it does have built-in Bluetooth, which I kind of wanted. And I've got, you know, like a stem mount for my phone and stuff coming. Oh, another thing, this thing doesn't come stock with a USB charging port in the glove box. I think that's something he asked for because it's installed. Like, there's one there where there's not supposed to be one there, which is really freaking cool, which means that that's one less thing I have to do to it, because I had that thing in my shopping cart and I was going to order one and install it so I could charge my phone and stuff, and my battery pack on the back of my helmet for my GoPro and stuff. I could be able to charge that stuff on the road. And yeah, I got it, and that's the first thing I noticed. He opened the glove box. He was like, right here under this cap there's a USB thing that was installed. And I was like, oh hell yeah, heck yeah, I don't have to do any drilling or nothing myself. Awesome. Because like I said, Scooter West Robot on there has a video showing, you know, how he installs a USB port in the glove box, and it requires, you know, taking the glove box off and drilling a hole in it and stuff. It's not hard. It's just, you go watch his video, Scooter West, you know, installing a USB port. It's very educational. Good people. Anyway, so I didn't have to do that. That's awesome. Man, every road here is so messed up because we have like a paper mill over sort of that way, and I mean, it's a ways over that way. It's probably 10 miles over that way. But logger trucks come down these roads. Hell, there's one behind me right now. And they just rut this thing up, dude. So if you just ride over it, it's like, the whole time. It sucks. Especially on smaller tires like scooters, but it is what it is. And this thing gets amazing gas mileage, dude. The book says 117 miles per gallon. Now, let's be honest, realistically, anybody that's ever ridden a motorcycle or ridden a scooter knows that the estimated miles per gallon is, they overshoot that. That's if you're riding around at like 30 miles an hour. And, yeah. It's more closer to probably 90 to 95, but still, 95 is ridiculous, son. It's got a 2.2 or 2.4? I think it's 2.2. I have to look again. I think it's a 2.2 gallon gas tank with close to 100 miles per gallon. Honestly, you could probably get 100 miles a gallon. Now I'm thinking about it, because 117, you know, give or take 20 miles. Well, not give, take 20 miles. Yeah, you're right at about 100. That's really freaking good, man. That means you could go like 200, maybe a little over 200 miles per tank, which is awesome if you plan on doing any kind of day trips or anything. That's the thing with like the Groms and all that stuff that I was looking at. That, like, yeah, they're small displacement engines, but the tank is so freaking small. Like 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, you know, around in that range, depending on which one you get. And then the not Kimco, the Kimco Spade has a 1.6 gallon gas tank, and then the one I was looking at, the Benelli TNT 135, sorry about the cough, has a 2.1 gallon, no, 1.9 gallon gas tank. So basically, you know, a little under 2 gallons, but still, this having 2.2, it gets better gas mileage than those, because like the Grom, the Z125, the Rascal, all of them except the Kimco Spade and the Benelli TNT 135, all the other ones are 4-speed transmissions. They don't have that top gear. They don't have that fifth gear. That's your you know, top end cruising gear right there, man. That's your gas mileage gear. So Yeah, those don't have it. The Kimco Spade has it because it's 5-speed transmission on that manual, and the Benelli TNT 135 has it. But yeah, that's it, guys. Y'all have a good one. Mirror Mask out. Peace. Make sure to like and subscribe.